This is Chris, the Idaho Painter here on Paint Life TV. Today I'm going to be talking about doing exterior estimates, how I quickly and easily do them, and how I do them paperless. I'm going to focus on exterior estimates in another video and series of videos. I'm going to do interior estimates, new construction estimates, decks and fences, and even concrete flooring. But this video is going to be focused on exterior estimates easy, how I quickly and easily do them, and don't use printers and paper. So stay tuned for this video. All right, so let's talk about how I go about doing estimates. When I first started doing estimates early in my career, I would go out and meet every single customer. The customer would call up, ask for an estimate. I'd go to the house. I'd walk the house with the customer, sell my company, sell myself. I'd go back home after I gathered all the information, which typically took about, an hour driving there, working with the customer, driving back home. I'd write the estimate on a computer, then I would print it up, and it was about a 22 to 20 page document. I'd put it in a folder with all kinds of other stuff that was my bid packet, and then I would deliver it back to the customer, hand deliver it to them if they were home, or just leave it on the porch if they weren't. And that was a very time consuming process. Driving time, gas, meeting with the customer, the printer, the paper, the ink, all that stuff. It was just very time consuming. But early in my career, it was very important to do that because I had to sell myself and to every single customer because I had no work. And so it was important, that face-to-face interaction. As years went by and I started getting more and more estimates, more and more referrals, it became really difficult to meet every customer and almost impossible and too time consuming. And so I started adopting this process of doing paperless estimates and not even meeting the customer. And I started using online means like Google Earth, Zillow, and Realtor.com. And I'm going to talk about how I use those online resources to not even meet the customer, not even drive out to the house, and write effective estimates and get jobs. I didn't get nearly the percentage of wins, jobs, doing it that method, but I had a significant more amount of bids coming in by referral. So it all equaled itself out, and I still had just the same amount of work. I was booked out for months and months. So let's talk about how I go about doing that process. I mean, first off, the bid comes in, somebody answers the phone, my wife answers the phone, customer says, and it's usually, you were referred to me by so-and-so, and I want to get an estimate on my house. And my wife begins gathering information. And one of the things she'll gather is, the age of the home. Do you want to change the colors of the home? The paint colors. And there's some certain information she'll ask. What's the timeline? You want this paint job done by, and can we even make that timeline? But some of the information she's gathering, she doesn't even need it because we're going to use online resources, and it's amazing what you can get on somebody's home online. Nothing's private anymore these days. But once she has that interaction with the customer, and that interaction is extremely important to explaining your bidding process, how you're going to go about doing the bid, and they'll receive the bid typically the same day. And she'll get off the phone. Once she's off the phone, the information's passed over to me, or she will even do the research to begin writing the estimate herself. And the first thing we do is we get on Google Earth, and Google Earth is just this incredible resource on the internet now. That you can look at homes worldwide. And what we typically do is get on Google Earth, type in an address, it'll just place you right on the street. And you have this little icon, this little man. You can place this guy anywhere on a house, and it gives you a view of that house. And you can almost get sometimes a 360-degree view of the house. You can look at down, a view of it down. You can look at sideways at all different angles. And now it's just like I'm there in person. So I'm starting to gather information of the home. How difficult is this home going to be? Is it going to be one story? Is it going to be two story? You can even determine, how much prep work is going to be on this house. Is there brick? Is there stucco? You could even see, is there other buildings that they possibly would want painted? Do they want this shed painted? Does it have a detached garage? There's a lot of information that you can look at using Google Earth to study and come up with your estimate, do estimate on the house. Now, with a lot of this being said, I do want to say one thing. After painting for so many years, eventually you begin to learn, if you really study the art and craft of painting and doing exterior repaints, most houses take a typical amount of time, a standard amount of time to do the prep work, to power wash it and prep it and paint it. And they're very standard. Now, in your location, it could look a lot different, but where I'm at, it was very the same. Most of the houses we're painting are 15 to 20 years old, have the same amount of prep. And so this method worked and was very effective for us. But we'll use Google Earth, look at the house. Then we'll take an application on the internet like Zillow.com or Realtor.com, type in the address, and now you can get all kinds of information about the home. And one of the key things is the floor square feet. Our estimates, my estimates, are based on floor square feet and floor square feet only on exterior estimates. And so I'm going to gather the floor square feet. My wife she'll always ask, on the phone, how many square feet is your house? And then you're going to compare what the customer said with what Zillow said. If there's any type of discrepancy, there could have been some type of remodel, some type of addition, and you might have to go back and ask the customer, but you're going to compare those numbers. But you can even, on Realtor.com, there's a lot of times the homes will have, if the house was recently sold or something, you can get these video tours of the house. You can walk right through somebody's house, have a video tour if you're doing an interior estimate this way. And we've done it this way before, but they do exterior tours of the house too. So you can gather all kinds of information. But the key thing is square feet, and then the age of the home. The age of the home is going to tell you how much prep work there is going to be on this house. If this house is only 5 years old, there's probably going to be significantly less prep work than if it was 25 years old. One of the age things we're looking at is that cutoff. I think it's like 1974. I'm not sure, but if it's beyond older than that, then there could be lead-based paint in the house, and we do not paint houses that have lead-based paint in them anymore. So I don't want to take on that liability responsibility. So we don't even write an estimate for it. So we'll ask the customer, on the phone. And if they say, my house is 60 years old, then we'll just write there on the phone, say, we don't do lead-based homes because there's probably lead-based paint in it, and we'll refer it out to somebody. But you can gather all this information up, and you can look at the house, and my estimates, and it's very simple. A lot of the things when I'm painting, I'm trying to create systems and processes that make things fast and efficient. And the bid process is the exact same way. And I came up with in the floor square feet price, fluctuates based on supply and demand, how busy I am. Right now, it's $1.65 a square foot is my base price. And so I'm going to take the square feet. If it's 2,500 square feet, I'm going to multiply it by $1.65. And there is my base price that I'm going to add in my estimate after I've also looked and studied the information. My base price, if the house is 3 stories, there's going to be significantly more work. So that $1.65 could go up. If it's, single story, and it's only 5 years old or 3 years old and it's brand new and they want a color change, it could go down. There's some certain things that's going to make it fluctuate, go up and down. But the key thing is you don't have to drive out and look at the house. You can do all that. Phone call comes in, you can look at it on Google Earth, you can get information, statistic data off of Zillow, and you can have an estimate back to the customer within 30 minutes. It's absolutely incredible, and it's emailed to them using a PDF format. But you just have to have the knowledge, the painting knowledge, and look at the house closely. I know there's been times that we've looked at the house, it's single story in the front, we can't see the back, it's 2-story in the back. But when it comes to all the houses we're doing 4 or 5 houses a week. If there was one that was more difficult, there's going to be somewhere in a 30-day period one that's more easy, and it ultimately ends up working itself out and equaling itself out in the end, over the month's time. So sometimes, the system, you're going to be surprised, but you can zoom in, look at the house, and if it's 20 years old, you can see a lot of prep work, or maybe the house is all stucco and you can, you need to paint the stucco, but you can look at the front door. Is it stained front door? And if you didn't get some of that information on the phone, you can contact the customer back before writing the estimate saying, I noticed you have a wood front door. Do you want the front door stained? I noticed you have a shed, on the side of the house. Do you want that shed included in the bid? There's all kinds of data and information you can get by looking at that house. And so it's just a matter of looking at it just like you were there in person. If you're uncomfortable, there are times when I can't see certain things, on Google Earth. I'm just unsure, on the age of the home. It looks like there might be more prep work than you can see. And so I'm just unsure. I'll actually just do a drive-by of the house, and I'll just quickly drive by and do it, and to look at it. And sometimes we'll even get out and take a look at it and walk around the house. But the estimate, it's a very fast and efficient system, and we get a bid sent back to the customer right away. And our estimates are always written with 2 colors. So I know there's a lot of times the houses, there are single color, 2 colors. They could be 5 colors, but in our estimates, it always, there's a disclaimer that says, there's a charge for additional colors. Our estimates are about, the bid packet is about 20 pages, and there's a list of additionals that you could have on the house. I mean, they could have some like bug juice, a paint additive. They could have 5, choose 5 colors, because you never know what the customer is going to choose, color-wise, until you actually start doing the color consulting. But the process is very quick, simple. We use QuickBooks. So I use QuickBooks. So the bid is entered into QuickBooks, estimate is spit out. And so you have a 1-page estimate document. And then in QuickBooks, we also have our bid packet that populates the customer's name right in there. So it looks very personalized, and that's like a 20-page document. We do make that available. You can take a look at that. You can check out our store where we sell copies of our estimate if you don't have a really good estimate packet. All right, now I'm going to walk you through the entire process, what this process looks like, doing the paperless estimates. And the call will come into the office. Lisa will handle the call, and she's going to gather, the information necessary from the customer, offer great customer service on the phone. And then once she's off the phone, she's going to use a computer, and she's going to use that computer, Google Earth, and she's going to use Zillow or Realtor.com and gather the information, look at the home, get a great view of the home, study the home, and then get the square footage. That information and studying the home is going to be entered into the estimate on QuickBooks. The estimate and the bid packet is then going to be printed up. It's going to be emailed to the customer, because on the phone call, every phone call, Lisa will always ask for an email, because that's how we do our bids, is through email. The email is going to be sent, and as soon as the email is sent, and that's usually within a half hour doing an estimate. Now, sometimes it's not till the next day, but we have a policy. It's always get the estimates done within 24 hours, and we're always shooting for the first couple hours, if it's not too busy. But the estimate is emailed. As soon as it is emailed, Lisa will call the customer back, because we asked for their phone number also. She's going to call them back and say, we emailed the estimates, and if you can check to make sure you got it, because what's interesting nowadays is a lot of things will go to junk mail or the junk folders. So the customer is going to verify whether they got it, and if not, we'll verify if the email address was right and everything. So customers got the email, then she'll say, you can look over the estimates, and if you feel you want to talk to Chris after you seen the number, I can schedule a time for you to talk to Chris. Or if you want a color consult after you've accepted the estimate, we could send Chris out for a color consult. And that entire process now is done one person, and that's going to take about 15 minutes to do that entire estimate versus probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours the old way. If you have any questions or comments about this process that I've gone through, just leave it down in the comments section below. And if I get enough questions and comments, I might just do a follow-up video to give out more information. But leave the comment sections or leave your comments and questions below. If you've enjoyed this video, if it's helped you out, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, you got to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, because I'm going to be coming out with some more estimating videos, interior estimates, epoxy floor estimates, fence estimates, deck estimates. And the only way to get notified when I come out with those new videos is hit that notification bell along with the subscribe button. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, we'll see you next time right here on Paint Life TV. Out.